Yo, what's up, guys? That's Smart Wedge. Man, it's kind of late tonight, so I'm gonna kind of say it kind of low. I hope you guys can hear me. Me and my cat. Say what's up, kitty. Say hey. Yeah, he decided to hang out with me tonight. But before bed, I'm go over this Lomachenko Rigondeaux fight. Um, it just keep coming to me, so I gotta respond to this one. I think I did a video on it before, but I went a little bit more depth with this one, and plus the fight's getting closer and closer, so I'm starting to see more and more about fighters. Um, I'm not as knowledgeable as about the fight as I am about the fighters nowadays than I used to be. So, in this era, I gotta wait for the media to share me what is a fighter about really. Um, Barely get to see fights and all that. No magazines, all that stuff. It's the past, it seems like. But I'm still involved in boxing, either in the gym anyway. But yeah, here we go. Lomachenko versus Rigondeaux. I named this presentation um, "Weight and Defense Matters." That's kind of my theme for this. I'm kind of giving it away right now that Lomachenko should win this fight. Um, it could go a lot of different ways. This is a very good even fight. I think the fans are getting what we deserve in this match. This is one of the um, shining lights in boxing nowadays. This fight, being as though we come up with a lot of bull crap that goes on. This is one of those fights that we deserve, and it's still not 100%, I have to say, because the weight difference and weight does matter, and that's the name of this theme of this. Weight and defense matters. So, you know, I started off with power because this is a big issue with Rigondeaux. Everybody's talking about his power. I say here power. I love power. I was a power puncher as a fighter. Um, but it can be a problem because styles make fights. Uh, um, Ultimately, styles make fights, and basically, I'm gonna go into what a fight, what fighting is, what boxing is made up of, what it consists of. Boxing is leverage, which is height and length, and your arm length and your height. That's your leverage. Timing, which is going to be your speed, your rhythm, and your punch placement. Okay, then you got weight. Weight is going to be your strength, your physical strength, not so much your punching power, but just your physical strength, um, and your bone hardness. Some people are real heavy-handed, and your composure. Okay, that's going to all consist of that's the last part right there. Now, as far as Lomachenko and Rigo, putting them side by side, I give Lomachenko the leverage advantage. He's taller, his height and his length is longer, his weight. Um, I think his upper body strength is underrated. He's not a power puncher and he's not a knockout artist, but I think he's very strong. His upper body, physically strong. So I give leverage in his thing. And just to add a footnote here, I think Lomachenko. The reason I've leaned more towards Lomachenko is because it's simply they eat that. I've been saying this about Rigondeaux for a long time. Somebody's going to catch him with his hands down. That's his biggest mistake, is that he don't bring his hands back to his face ever. Because he's so dependent on his movement and he's so good at it. But um, anybody who knows how to block an inside fight and bring their hands back, it's going to give Rigo a heck of a fight, especially if he got some pop to his punches. Lomachenko has everything that he needs to be that fighter. He's not that weak. He got some good pop to his punches. He's not a knockout artist because he doesn't concentrate on his strong points and using his strength like that. He's more for playing, tit for tat. He's more for the counter puncher type. He's not in there to seek and destroy. He's more so getting points on you. I guess that amateur pedigree is sunk in his brain. It's just hard to get out of that, and it's still winning them fights in the pros. Because we know a good amateur, a top-notch amateur can beat a average pro anyway. You know, nevertheless, um, if he keep his hands up and he can pop Rigo with some of them punches, um, he could beat Rigo. Yeah, it's just simple and plit. Styles make fights. Um, Rigo got a big problem with keeping his hands down. Um, um, uh, I have to say, in the beginning, I was hoping for Rigo to win. I think he deserved it. He's been around a long time. And um, he lost one time, but he came back, and it didn't stop his success, and it didn't stop his style from being captured and figured out, and people start dominating you when they find out how to beat you. They didn't. No one did that thus far, and he's getting a lot older. I think he deserves a big name fight like this. Um, so how could Rigodo win? He wins because Lomo got the timing. The leverage. I'm sorry, Lomachenko's got the leverage advantage. But let me tell you what Rigo got. Rigo got the timing. You got the speed and the rhythm and the punch placement to put them punches in the right place. He got them things, and that means a lot. Speed is power sometimes, and um, um, all he got to do in this fight is respect Lomachenko's weight. He must respect that weight advantage, and he must continue to move. He must be continue to move and put his hands up. That's going to be his number one thing. If he get from Asmar Wedge, let him know, man. Give me a call. Hire a brother. Throw a brother opportunity. But tell Rigo that if he keep his hands up and he block, use them hands, and he um, use them hands and use his speed, stay busy, and on his feet, and fight backwards. He don't need to go forward. He need to fight backwards. Uh, uh, he has to fight this fight like he's trying to stick and move and win on points, and try his best to defend his chin from not getting touched easily. Um, you know, uh, basically he just got to click his heels in circles and use them hands, all the speed he got, and he's faster than Lomachenko, so I don't think, I think he can avoid Lomachenko's power, um, and I think he can avoid Lomachenko's traps, with that counterpunching ability. I think Rigondas can win on points, but uh, if he's going to keep his hands down and he's going to ever try to be aggressive against Lomachenko, he's going to have a rude awakening. Um, back on Lomachenko. He wins if he gets um, um, I don't know what I wrote here, but basically Lomachenko, because of his, he's an Olympian too. He's not in a disadvantage with Rigondeaux because Rigondeaux has over a lot of other pros that amateur experience and being able to let them hands go and stay busy the whole round. Like in a race, top amateurs are excellent at that, and but Lomachenko is just as good. So this is a very even match when it comes to experience, but it's still the weight thing. That's the thing that bothers me. Um, as long as Regan does, don't try to bum rush Lomachenko. And he's gonna make it hard for Lomachenko. But Lomachenko, if Rigondeaux try to bum rush him, Lomo's gonna do the thing on him. Because he's too big. He's too big. He's too long. Even though they're not too much difference, but Lomachenko's been fighting bigger guys, bigger pros. Um, it's not the amateurs. Them guys, got small gloves on, and he's been taking punches by some harder punchers. And um, I also thought, Davis. I think he would have a better chance at Lomachenko. You know, um, because of the speed, and he has that punching power. He had that pop in that punch. He would do a lot better than Rigondeaux would with Lomachenko. Davis would have a lot better chance of beating Lomachenko because he would hurt him when he did hit him. He would hurt him. It would be harder for him to get to him because Davis is not as elusive and fast and quick as Rigondeaux, but Davis is more dangerous. And he's fast. He's not slow, so he would be more dangerous for Lomachenko. Um, if Lomachenko was to allow him to touch him. If they're going to trade punches, if they're going to touch, I think that boy Davis is underrated, even though he's kind of fresh and new in this game. But he's a strong little joker. And when you're small and strong, you're a little bit more dangerous because you coming from underneath. And, you know, um, so I think Davis will have a better chance than Rigondeaux to beat Lomachenko because Rigondeaux is smaller. He don't have that killer, dangerous punch like a Davis. He's not. Don't have that heavy bones like Davis. He's no doubt about it. He's strong for his size, but he doesn't have that weight behind it, and it means a lot. Um, uh, Rigondeaux wins if he uh, if he fights with his hands up and he blocks well, and he continue to do that. Um, if he has a chance, if he puts his hands up and blocks well, right. Uh, if he do his nice footwork, his head movement and all that stuff with his hands up, and he blocking, powering punches, um, with the head movement, he could beat Rigondeaux off of points. He could beat Lomachenko off of points. If he could stay busy, and he knows how to do it, but is he going to be too brave? That's the problem. Um, uh, sorry to say that, but weight and defense is the determining factor of this fight. That's why I named it Weight and Defense Matters. Ask Smart Wedge, man. Once again, giving y'all all I can give you from the best of my ability. And if I'm anything wrong, may God forgive me. Anything right, take it, roll with it, and don't forget me. Peace.